The 2021 Volkswagen Golf range has landed in Australia. This is the long-awaited introduction of the Golf Mk8, and it brings with it fresh styling, new technology and safety, but familiar Golf dynamics. Let's take a closer look. The Golf 8 arrives in Australia sporting an evolutionary design update, a high-tech interior plus more advanced safety and equipment than before. Prices are up across the board, including a $3,560 increase on the manual-equipped Golf entry model. Volkswagen has opted for a simplified three-model garden variety Golf lineup that it says is no longer fixated on a lower entry price point. The Golf GTI has likewise been refreshed for 2021, and in time, the Mk8 Golf R will also grace showrooms. Volkswagen's new upmarket strategy is most evident inside the cabin. Inside the new mid-range Golf Life variant that we're driving, you're now presented with a new 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster and a new 10-inch center display. The cabin trades a lot of the predecessor's hardwired switchgear for new touch slider buttons and more emphasis on controls being inside the touchscreen itself. Initially, it can feel a little bit clunky and foreign, but it's great that you can customize the layout of the screen to make basic commands an easy process rather than 2 or 3-step processes. I like the layout of the cabin. This new fly-by-wire gear selector does free up space, and every Golf model now gets 3-zone climate control and 4 USB-C points across the cabin. My only real criticism of the Golf 8 cabin is probably that the new infotainment system is a little bit slow to fire up and isn't as quick as it could be between basic commands. The Golf's interior proportions are unchanged from the Mark 7.5, which means a rear seat suitable for 2 adults or little ones, access via rear air vents, plus a handy 374-litre boot that is underslung by a space-saver spare tyre. All variants of the 2021 Golf are able to accelerate, brake, steer and park automatically with standard fitment across the range of adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist and an automated parking system, which form part of VW's expanded IQ Drive suite. Even with all that new technology and safety, the good news is that the Golf Mk8 still feels like a Golf, and it gets all the basics right as well. Great in-car storage for a small passenger car and plenty of vision front and rear. And equally, it's the same story with the Golf's dynamics. It's still a really polished, really competent all-rounder. One thing that hasn't changed is the Golf's base engine, a 1.4-litre turbo petrol 4-cylinder that makes identical 110 kilowatt and 250 Newton metre outputs, together with a claimed fuel consumption rating of 5.8 litres per 100 Ks, which we had no trouble matching on test. Whereas other countries are now offered a new 1.5-litre turbo petrol, that engine uses a particulate filter that isn't compatible with Australia's sulphur-rich fuels. The upshot is that the 1.4-litre turbo petrol engine is still as relevant as ever. It's really efficient in real-world conditions, it's usable, it's accessible, but it's also quite punchy and enjoyable when you need it to be as well. Importantly, for 2021, the 1.4-litre swaps out the predecessor's 7-speed dual-clutch automatic for a new 8-speed torque converter. It helps remove the Golf's long-held tendency to bind and hesitate at low speed, and in the Golf Life doesn't really detract from performance either. In all conditions, the Golf's familiar McPherson strut front and multi-link rear suspension lend it a clear upper hand on the competition. To my mind, the Golf is still the pinnacle of this segment in terms of dynamics. It's got a really great level of poise and control on the road. It's comfortable, it shakes off mid-corner bumps, and even though there is a sporting premise to the controls in terms of, more meaningful weighting to the steering and brake pedal and body and everything else, it's still a really nice all-rounder and a really refined car to be in as well. The Golf's appeal is reaffirmed for 2021 with a 5-year unlimited kilometre factory warranty and the option of care plan servicing packages that cost $1,100 for 3 years or $1,900 for 5 years, based on 12-month or 15,000 kilometre intervals. Although evolutionary in nature, changes to the Golf for 2021 are welcome, allowing Volkswagen's venerable hatch to extend its legacy at the pointy end of the small car pack.